Welcome to the Own Your Life podcast, where our goal is to help bring hope, healing, and peace by sharing our experiences and inspiring you to own your life. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Own Your Life podcast. Today is episode 73, and I just want to start out with saying how grateful and thankful that we are for all of you for listening to us every week, or if this is your first time, welcome. Thank you so much for even just clicking play on this podcast, and we just appreciate all your support, all your love, and sticking with us, whether you've been with us, from the episode 1 or episode 50 and on, or just starting now. We are just so thankful for all of you and hope that you are going to have an amazing holiday season. I am going to be talking a lot about that today, about what are you thankful for, boundaries with family, maybe ways to navigate tricky topics, things like that I think is going to be very helpful for the holiday season. And this is coming out the day before Thanksgiving, so you might already be en route to traveling to wherever you're going. I know that I will be. I will be en route to Indiana, back to where Matt and I are from, to hang out with family. So just really starting off with what are you thankful for? And one of the best ways that we do this is, and we mentioned this many times, so I'm sorry if this is a huge repeat to some of you, but for some of you it might be brand new, that we have a gratitude journal that we write in every morning, and it just lists, 5 things. You write, the top 5 things you're grateful for, whatever just comes to your mind. And it doesn't have to be anything huge. It could just be, I was sitting and I was watching a lake, or I went for a hike, or I saw, pretty flowers on the way to work today on the side of the road, maybe some pretty wildflowers or something, or you were at the store and you saw pretty flowers, anything that, something small that you're grateful for, maybe even just watching the sunrise or the sunset. I know that here in Florida where we live, that we have very, very beautiful sunrises and sunsets, and I am just so in awe every time I see them, and I try to see them as much as possible. I know some days, I'm busy, or maybe I'm not up at that time early in the morning, and I might miss it, but usually on a weekend if that happens. But if I do miss it, I'll try to make up for it another day, because I don't want to ever take that for granted. Just beauty we have all around us, and little things that we can be grateful for, that we don't have to plan or we don't have to pay for anything. Like, we can just sit there, enjoy a sunset, or enjoy looking at the stars. Something like that, I think, is just something simple that a lot of people don't do, and really helps calm you down and helps you realize, maybe how small you are when you look out in the ocean, or you're on a beach, or you're looking at mountains or something like that. And you just realize, how beautiful the world, the actual nature of the world is around you. I know for me, that's something that is very grounding to me and helps me be thankful for little things. And by doing those gratitude journals that we do, it really helps focus your mind for the day, so that you are already set at looking for things that you're grateful for, throughout your day, whether you realize it or not. But by doing that in the morning, you're kind of programming yourself so that you are on the lookout. Your brain is looking for little things to be thankful for, because it knows you're going to write the next day things that you're thankful for. So I just think that's a really good way to start your day. Or maybe it's a way that you want to end your day. I know that we start our day that way. I've also heard of other people ending their day that way. And usually when, I pray before we go to bed, I do thank God for things, whether it was something that happened that day, or a person in my life, or something like that. So really starting and ending your day with gratitude, not just during this time of year, but all the time, I think can really help you feel more grounded and feel, I guess, more whole. I know it does for me. And I can't stress that enough. It's a very simple thing. You don't even have to write anything down. You can just say it out loud, or you can just think it in your head. I'm grateful that I even woke up today. Maybe you're going through a really hard time and you're just grateful for every moment that you get, which we should be anyways. But maybe in this season of your life that you are, day to day is very difficult, and taking it one day at a time, which we do have an episode about that. I refer to go back to that as well. But taking it one day at a time is also, something important, and something that we can take for granted if we don't take advantage of it and really maximize the moments, the present moment that we're in, instead of, thinking too far into the future or thinking so much on the past that we just miss what's in front of us. And I think that's also what helps with being grateful for something every day, is you are focusing on the present. You're not spending too much time in the past or too much time being anxious about the future. So just wanted to mention those, that I think, gratitude is so powerful and something that we can easily get away from. If you're not focused on it, you might be able to pick apart things going wrong or complaining. I know I've done this before, that it's so easy to be negative. It is so easy to be negative, but it's a choice. It's a choice to be positive and to start your day off right. Or maybe it's the middle of the day, maybe it's on your lunch break, whatever works for you. It's really about fitting your lifestyle to make your life better and to own your life. With gratitude, that's something that I feel like in the morning you're getting your brain ready for, and at night you're ending your day with the same thing you started with it. So your brain is focused on it more. So I think that really helps. And especially this time of year, with Thanksgiving coming up real soon, that we need to stop and really think about, what are we grateful for? And I know our world has been crazy for the past 2 years, and that we would not have foreseen any of this in 2019 before a lot of stuff started to happen. And there's a lot of things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for you guys. I'm really grateful for Matt, my amazing spouse. I'm grateful for Marley, who's sitting right here. She is asleep on her pillow. She's an amazing dog. She's been phenomenal this year, because this was the first year that Matt and I have not had Haas, and that was our oldest German Shepherd. He passed away last December. So it's definitely been a weird year, dealing with not having him here. Very thankful for Cameron, my amazing stepson, who is at Kentucky. He's at Asbury, Kentucky, playing baseball. And I'm actually going to see him on Thanksgiving. So I'm very excited about that. I'm grateful for, all my in-laws and my parents and all my family members. Definitely grateful to have all of them in my life. And realizing definitely with some of them that I need to have a stronger connection myself, because, we aren't guaranteed the next day. And, what would I do if those people weren't here and I never got, one last time to talk to them? So I do think that's important, that we take advantage of the time we do have with people, especially family members, because I know this can be a very stressful time for a lot of people. The holidays might not be the most joyous time of the year. Actually, might be a very depressing time of the year for some people. And we do want to acknowledge that just because so many things seem so happy and exciting and wonderful, that is not the reality for some people. Actually, for a lot of people, that's probably not the reality. And the holidays are something that they struggle just to get through. And whether you have, a big family that you're with or you're alone, that can definitely be a struggle. I think it's really shifting your perspective and your mindset to making that what you want it to be. Because at the end of the day, you do control your attitude and you control, your thoughts and feelings about you can take captive the negativity and switch that around to make it positive and make the best of a situation. Because we cannot change the people around us. We can't change what they say, think, feel, do. But we can change our reaction to whatever it is, and we can control our attitude. So knowing that, because you might be around some difficult people, whether it's tomorrow for Thanksgiving or whether it's in a couple weeks for Christmas, or, if you celebrate Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate, that you're going to be around family. And it can be very difficult. And I know for Matt and I, we are choosing to, we're going to be around a lot of people for the holidays, but we are not going to try to start any wars or fights with anybody if they think differently about us. Because as us talking over our podcast, that, we are very outspoken in that we don't, think masks work, and we're very highly against vaccine mandates and things like that. Whereas we do have family members that feel the complete opposite. And so much so that we have been uninvited to some parts of the holiday get-togethers. And that's fine. That's fine with us, because we're going to spend time with some other family instead. And no hard feelings there. They are allowed to have their opinion and their feelings. But for us, I guess I respect that. I wouldn't do it if I were them. I would not shun anybody for making certain decisions or not making certain decisions in their life. But for us, that, we're just going to respect that and move on, and just be thankful and grateful for the people that we do get to spend time with. That might be you too. Maybe that happened to you. Maybe you got uninvited for something based off of a medical status that in our opinion, is nobody's business but yours and maybe your spouse and your medical provider. But we know that that's going to be a very touchy thing and that people can get pretty heated over that. And I think the biggest thing to take into consideration is perspective, and to realize that no matter how amazing your argument is, you may not change their mind. You might open up their mind to something that they haven't considered, but don't get so worked up if you don't change their mind over it. Because I think so many of us just want somebody, like if somebody's opposing you so bad, you just want them to see your perspective. You want them to get it and to switch and be like, oh yeah, you're right. But a lot of times, especially with controversial subjects, that is not the case. It usually strengthens the other person's perspective of whatever they feel much more than they did before, because they're going to, stick to whatever it is or provide all these data points of why they're right. And you're going to do the same for you. And you're both going to just pull apart further from each other and strengthen your arguments even more, which you already believe in. So it's kind of silly, but I'm not saying that you can't have productive conversation, especially during the holidays. But I know that that's probably going to happen, especially with so many controversial things happening, whether it is about vaccines, whether it's about masks, whether it's about schools, homeschooling, Kyle Rittenhouse, racial tension. I mean, you name it. There are so many things that people can argue over right now, especially during the holidays. So I would say if you are going to do that, if you want to talk about one of those subjects with your family, I would say be prepared, because they're going to ask questions, especially if they believe the total opposite of you. Do be prepared, but be respectful of other people's opinions. Because we do know not everybody thinks the exact same that we do, and that's fine. We don't need everybody to be a robot and think all the exact same thing. And we do want to be respectful of that, but also, stand up for what you believe in. Don't be swayed. Don't let them, beat you down with whatever it is that they're thinking and their perspective, but just keep an open mind to just hearing from them, but stick to what you believe in, what you're convicted in, like stay firm in that. And I think you living out the example of what you believe in speaks so much more than arguing with somebody. So if you just, hey, that's great. You think this, that's wonderful. And that's how we are. Yeah, you think that's fine. We feel totally opposite. And that's the way that we're going to live our lives. And that's what we've done. So, and next week I've got, a podcast coming out about really just living your life, really living your life in the way that you want to live it. So check that out next week. But for right now, with all this holiday stuff coming, we do think, that's going to happen. There are going to be some controversial subjects around the table this year, as if there isn't every year. But it just seems like there's so much more to get people fired up and really split against each other, which is very unfortunate, because this is a time to come together and to really just enjoy being with each other. Maybe watch a funny movie together, do something non-controversial if that's the way you'd rather go. And just to enjoy your time together, because you never know. Maybe you might not have another holiday with that person. So do keep that in mind, that our time is limited on this earth and we don't know, what could happen tomorrow. So do keep that in mind and really focus on what you're grateful for and thankful for. Even if you got a crazy uncle or crazy aunt or somebody who's going to say something ridiculous and get everybody fired up, just be grateful for them. And it's okay to disagree and stick to what you believe in, but just to really navigate that in a way you feel is best for you and your family. So you figure that out for you, but just letting you know what Matt and I have chosen to do for our family. And I think boundaries is very, very crucial, especially during this time. Now, if you know that being around certain family members or certain activities or things during this time are going to trigger things for you, maybe bad memories, thoughts, whatever, then put time limits on things if you can, or if you can't avoid it all the way. Because I know there's some things we can't avoid at the holidays, like maybe seeing certain people that you don't want to see, but you have to see because grandma wants everybody to be together and, whatever it is. So just have time limits on things. I know that boundaries are very, very important and something that can get crossed so easily, especially with family and especially during holiday time, that it is important to know your limits. And definitely if you are a couple, talk about it before it happens. Talk about it before you go into Thanksgiving. You're like, well, I thought we were going to be here for 2 hours. Well, I thought we were going to be here all day. Well, I thought blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to fight all over it because you didn't talk about it beforehand. So definitely have the game plan with your family, your immediate family, before you do the whole big family thing, if that's what you're going to be doing. And I think it is also another important thing to talk about. Are we just going to keep the peace, or are we really going to talk about a bunch of stuff and maybe somebody leaves mad, whatever, and that's not your problem if somebody does leave mad from whatever you said. But just knowing what's going to happen if you open up that can of worms at the table. Just think about that. Think about boundaries and think about emotional boundaries. A lot of us don't think about that. And it's something that you don't have to tell other people, that you just decide, hey, I'm not going to get worked up when I hear XYZ, because I know they're going to talk about this. I know they are, because they always do. And they post about it on social media all the time. So I know they're going to bring it up. So if that's, one of your relatives, have that in mind, that if this happens, then I'm not going to let that emotionally derail me or throw me through a loop or emotional roller coaster, whatever it is, that you are planning for that ahead of time. I think that that's very helpful. Otherwise, you might be blindsided, and then things might happen that you didn't want to happen, that you had control over because it was you and your reaction. But just to think about that ahead of time, I think is very, very helpful. And like I said before, holidays are hard for a lot of people. It's not always the most joyous time of the year. And that is unfortunate, because we do, we want everybody to have an awesome holiday season, no matter what you celebrate, what you believe in, what you do, that you have a safe time together and that you have fun together with your loved ones. Because that's really what it means at the end of the day. It's not about presents. It's not even about the food. It's about the time that we get to spend. It's really taking time off and resting. We're supposed to be resting from work and hanging out with people we love. But unfortunately, a lot of people see it as more work, or that work is even better than hanging out with the relatives. And then that's more stressful and more work, when it's supposed to be the complete opposite. So with that, I hope this was helpful. Please start some sort of gratitude practice if you haven't already. I promise it will change your life. Just something as small as thinking of 5 things that you're grateful for every day. Even if that's too much, do 3. 3 things you're grateful for every day. And maybe think about that when you wake up in the morning and right before you go to bed at night. If you write it down, extra bonus, probably get more re-ingrained in your brain, so that you are more focused on it every single day, more focused on gratitude. But with that, we do hope this was helpful. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for being an amazing audience. We love you so much. And please share this message. Please subscribe. Please rate and review us. And until next time, own your life, because your life is your responsibility. Thank you all for listening. If this added value to you, please click subscribe and rate and review us. You can also find us at Own Your Life Co. on Instagram and Facebook, and ownyourlifeco.com. And as always, own your life, because your life is your responsibility.